Racing to the 2025 Kentucky Derby, and this time we go to the home of Turfway Park. We've got the John Battaglia. It's part of a big day of racing on Saturday, February the 22nd, and we move into the next round of preps. We've got the Rebel Stakes. That preview will be up later on this week. But Turfway Park, a mile and a 16th, 3-year-old colts, Saturday, February 22nd. A field of 14 has been entered, 2 also eligibles. And we're in the Kentucky Derby prep season. 20 points to the winner, 10 points for second, points awarded for 6, 4, and 2 for third through fifth place. Now, the John Battaglia since 1980 through 2024, 14 Kentucky Derby runners have ran in the John Battaglia, and we have the one winner, Rich Strike, in 2022. Of course, he won the Derby as a long shot. And last year, 2024, none of the runners in the John Battaglia ran in the Kentucky Derby. A full field of 14. Let's take a look at the field. Starting off, we've got some maiden winners. We've got some horses from Turfway Park. Spirit Rags, a winner on February 1st. Then we've got Cheyenne, third in the Leonata Stakes. Studley Do Right, he's kind of interesting. He's a Cup 2-time stakes winner. He ran in the Tremont Stakes. He won the Nashua Stakes. He's going to try synthetic here. He does have a little bit of class, and I think the distance is a good distance for Studley Do Right. Now, Calling Card had a big maiden win at Aqueduct. Now he's going to try the synthetic. He's by Complexity, who does get some runners on the artificial surface. California Burrito, a 7-length winner at Turfway. Then we've got Banks, another runner from the Leonatus. Now, so far we've had the Turfway preview and the Leonatus as stakes races for the 3-year-olds. Baby Max, the Leonata Stakes winner. Then King of Ashes, he sips in from Gulfstream Park. He won the last time out on the synthetic at Gulfstream Park. He ships in here. Good pedigree and should be able to get the distance. First Resort, the most likely favorite. Of course, he won the Kentucky Jockey Club. Makes his first start of 2025 for Godolphin Blue. Coming in hot, the Turfway Park preview winner, Beardtown's Baytown, 9 starts, 2 wins. He's going to be a price in this race. Maximum Promise out of that 12th post position goes for trainer Ken McPeak, who won the Derby last year with Mystic Dan. Maximum Promise, a 14-length winner at Ellis Park. Then the 2 also eligibles. You've got Special Caliber, a maiden winner January at Turfway, and Maitre D, a winner at Gulfstream Park. Ships in 2 starts, 1 win, lightly raced for trainer Doug O'Neill. Kind of an eclectic group of 14 horses at Turfway Park. The maiden winners. The synthetic experience always helps, but sometimes in these big races you get a faster pace and you can get some wild card results. So let's dig into the past performances and the race previews. Starting off with First Resort, a very talented winner. First time out at Ellis Park. Kind of drew off that day, outclassed that field. And First Resort kind of indicated at some big potential in that debut victory. Now, he ran on the turf at Woodbine, then he ran in another stakes race, set the pace before he went off at 6-1 in the Kentucky Jockey Club. He wins this race, made a mid-race move, held him off in the stretch. First Resort, the sire is Uncle Mo, and Uncle Mo and some of his progeny, they do really well on the synthetic surfaces. Normally a smaller, lighter framed horses tend to do well as a general rule on the synthetic. Now, Banks is a shipper in. He's got some synthetic experience, ran in the Leonata Stakes, won his maiden at Turfway Park. Coming in hot, let's take a look at him in the Turfway preview. This was a nice win. Comes from a little bit off the pace, coming in hot. I like the fact that he's got experience at Turfway Park, and that can come in handy. The distance should not be an issue and draws a good post position for coming in hot. Now, King of Ashes, let's go to Gulfstream Park. They have the synthetic surface. They do run some maiden races on there. He's 1 for 3 lifetime, but sired by Street Sense. Now, Street Sense ran in a synthetic prep race back when Keeneland was synthetic, ran third in that one, won the Kentucky Derby. King of Ashes here at Turfway. Now, Barrington's Baytown, another one with experience, 9 starts, 2 wins, 1 for 7 last year as a 2-year-old, 1 for 2 this year. Again, some of these synthetic results, depending on the temperature, whether they're running at night, and other variables, they can improve or decline in their speed figure pretty quickly. Now, Maximum Promise, a winner in Ellis Park. This was a big win, and it looked like he was bet down that day, drew off by 14 lengths. Now, sometimes Ellis Park can be very speed favoring, but Maximum Promise looked like a good horse. Of course, he's by Maximum Security, the DQ disqualified winner of the Kentucky Derby. So then he ran in the Lecomte Stakes off a little bit of a layoff, had a little bit of a setback. I think he's going to be well meant here. I don't like the post position number 12 for Maximum Promise. Then an also eligible horse, Special Caliber, a win last time out. He jumped up in a speed figure. Slow fractions that day, but again, the fractions early on in Turfway Park and some of these night racing, they can be very slow and then they sprint home, or if they go fast early, then it becomes a chaos race and you can get some interesting results. Now, Maitre D', another one on the outside for trainer Doug O'Neill. He's by Game Winner. I think he could have some synthetic runners successful. One at Gulfstream Park, 7 furlongs, now comes here to Turfway Park. So an interesting field. Let's take a look at the pace of the race. Pace pressers, I think, are going to be California Burrito and First Resort. Now, First Resort finally came off the pace the last time in the Kentucky Jockey Club. I think that's where they want to be to get him to go that mile and a 16th. Coming in hot and Baby Max over the pressers. Mid-pack runners, Barrington's Baytown, King of Ashes, and Studley Do Right. And then Banks, I think he's going to be a closer in this race. Now, again, lightly raced horses, they can change their running style. I don't think First Resort wants that lead, but he could have a little bit of class edge on these guys. Overall, when you get these big fields, usually you get a fast pace. And at Turfway Park, you can get some chaos. Now, the big handicapping questions, you've got First Resort, first start of 2025. King of Ashes ships in from Gulfstream Park. He's got a nice pedigree. And then the big field, what kind of pace do we get? What kind of trips are horses on the outside going to work out with those outside post positions? Those are some of the things you have to look at. Current form, King of Ashes, a good win at Maiden, win at Gulfstream. First Resort's got a stakes experience. Special Caliber, lightly raced, I think he could be improving. And Baby Max, a win over the track at Turfway Park. My top selection, again, John Battaglia. I'm going to go with a little bit of an upset. I'm going with King of Ashes. I like the synthetic win at Gulfstream. I like the pedigree. I think the price will be about 7 or 8 to 1. I'm going to play exactas with First Resort, Banks, and Baby Max in the exactas for the John Battaglia. Other contenders to consider, definitely First Resort. He's most likely going to be favored, has some class, has run on different surfaces, and Maximum Promise, a big maiden win. He won by 14 lengths by Maximum Security. Fast win at Ellis Park, another one to consider. We've got the Rebel Stakes, a big field in that race coming up later on this week. The Fountain of Youth, the Gotham, and the San Felipe all coming up the first weekend of March. Free racing picks for the Rebel this week, then the Fountain of Youth, Florida Derby Day, Kentucky Derby Day. Sign up below in the description. Triple Crown Prospectus, sign up for that every Monday through the Belmont Stakes. And like, comment, share, support the channel. Who do you like in the John Battaglia? Do you like First Resort? Do you like Baby Max? Leave a comment and smash that like button as we're on the trail. And remember, D. Wayne Lucas always says, people have opinions, horses have the facts.